Welcome, welcome, welcome to Peace and Plenty. I'm your host, Janine, and today we are talking about finding time for what you love to do. Again, I thought this was perfect for Valentine's Day. The reason this came up was a few weeks ago, I was filling out a form. I don't even remember where I was or what it was for because it didn't matter. The question and my lack of an answer is the reason this episode is here today. The question was, I forget how it was worded. It was either what are your interests or what are your hobbies? And I immediately was like, oh my God, what do I write? Driving carpools? I do read, so I had that. But other than that, I really had to stop and think, do I have hobbies? What are my hobbies? Like, this is a question, obviously, on a form that lots of people give answers to. So it really got me thinking about how, as moms in midlife, we have this whole identity thing going on because when you do have children, that naturally becomes your primary identity. And the other aspects of ourselves get put on hold. And also, we have the additional messaging from society that tells us taking time for yourself to do things for fun is looked at as selfish, right? Or we feel guilty for pursuing interests other than being a mother. So I have the perfect person to bring on for this episode. My dear friend Melissa is someone that I actually look to as a model for hobbies because she actually has a bunch of them and a bunch of interests, and not that she developed them all right away. This has been over a number of years. But I said to her, please, can I bring you on the show? Because I want you to share with everyone, how do we do this? How do we figure out what our interests are, what hobbies we should do, and how do we find time to do them? So without further ado, let me bring her on. To introduce you to my dear friend, Melissa. Say hi, Melissa.
Hi, everybody.
So this, as I was just telling you, this is the friend that I'm talking about who is a model, and someone that we can all look up to in terms of having and executing on interests and hobbies. So, Melissa, the thing that everybody's going to want to know is, first of all, how did you figure out that those are the things you like to do? You work full time, you have
Yep,
a family.
yep.
Tell us
Um,
tell us your secrets.
okay. The
Well,
secrets. Melissa's secrets are in the winter, I get aggravated every year. Every single year, I call it my disgruntled time because I would be very bored. And I would always say, God, I need something, I need something, I need something. And then finally, I just started trying things.
mm,
Nothing that I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be good at this." No, like I just started trying things. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm interested in the fact that it's sad in the winter and I need a little greenery.
mm,
So I'm gonna get some plants. Oh, but I want more plants, but they're expensive. So maybe I should figure out how to propagate them because that's free. And then I can give them away and that'll be a hobby." Um, my nana taught me to knit when I was little,
mm.
and I kind of remembered, but not fully. YouTube.
I
Got
was
on
just gonna
YouTube.
say, that's the beauty right now of the age that we live in, is that
Yeah.
you could literally
Yeah.
tutor yourself on how to do anything.
Anything. So I am not an artistic person, but I always wanted to be an artistic person. Like it's always been my thing. Like I'm like, oh, I'd love to be able to do that. And I'm not skilled at that. But that's okay because then I decided to do paint by numbers. You don't need to have skill for paint by numbers. You just need to have the patience to wait for it to look like an actual picture. Um, but it's really enjoyable because it's actual paint. It's like a sensory experience. You
Yeah,
actually enjoy it. And I've always been a reader. There's nothing
yeah,
that's
you know,
not anything that's new. Um, but the thing is, you get bored. You
right,
get stuck in one thing, and then
right,
you're like, okay, I've satiated on that. Like, we're good. Now what? So, if you have a lot of things that you like to do, you can change it up depending on the day. Like
Yeah.
this morning, I was watching a cheesy, TV show, which I love to do at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was like knitting while watching it because it's brain
Mm.
rest. So, and after work, when I'm stressed, I'll put on music and I'll do my paint by numbers.
I love, love, love this. Like, I know you're laughing, but
I'm
like,
laughing because I'm like, if you saw it all, you wouldn't think it was that great. But
okay, so I'm gonna pause you just for a minute because you mentioned so many important points. So the first one is I love how you have this balance of things that you remember you used to like to do, and then also discovering what you want to try, right? I think that's the key that I want to share with everybody that um th- you could do either or. You could go backwards and be like,
yep,
what did I used to love to do and connect with that? Or you can try out something, and to your point, it doesn't have to be you don't have to like, you start small. You start with the simplest form of whatever it is, like the painting.
yeah,
And then I also wanna point out how you just talked about habit pairing, basically, because while you watched your show, which you enjoy doing, you also were doing the knitting. So, like, in terms of how do you find the time, that's how you find the time.
yeah,
You're doing 2 things at once, but not things that you need intense concentration for, right? It's not like you're
exactly.
multitasking, because that's a whole whole 'nother episode I'm gonna do about how I actually think multitasking is not a good thing. Um,
No, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's a good thing either.
so and the other point being and talk maybe a little bit more about this, like the paint by you have like different purposes for your hobbies. Like the
Yeah,
the paint by numbers you just said is like a stress reliever, right? The knitting
100%.
is more like what would you describe the knitting as?
The knitting is for a purpose.
Yeah, you
So
right.
I kind of, when I knit, I think about like, who am I knitting it for?
The
Do you know what I
intention,
mean?
the intention behind
Yeah.
it. You love that.
And and Janine knows she's
I do.
received one of my scarves,
I
um,
own I own a
the
scarf knit
Melissa
by
Robusto scarf.
Melissa, and that's why I honestly, that's why I love it because listen, it's a very nice scarf. Is it something that I would walk into the store and buy? Probably not, but it was made
Hell
by you,
no.
and I know what the intention was behind it.
It's true.
I love that.
It's true because it's the thing is yes, could I get on YouTube and figure out how to make a sweater, how to whatever? Can I do all that stuff? Yeah. Is that something I'm interested in doing right now? No.
Yeah.
I'm good with just freaking scarves.
Yep.
They're straight. I don't have to think. I don't have to count. I don't have to do things while I'm doing it. I'm just doing it. And I think that's kind of the key of hobbies is once the hobby has something attached to it that has
Mm,
some sort of like stress or a purpose, like it has to be this way, it has to be done by this time, it loses its joy.
right. Right. That's
Like
a
it
great
loses it.
yeah.
And like, I don't know about you, but I feel like I want my hobbies to be able to go on when I
Mm,
can no longer be physically active.
yeah, that's a
Like,
great point. I
because
mean,
we're all going to get old.
yeah, like, you
And
don't
if we
wanna think
don't,
about that, but
yeah,
that is actually a really great point that if you have something now that you're, like, cultivating, that you can do for a long
for
time.
life.
It's a great point.
Yeah. Because I don't want to be that person who goes, I don't have any hobbies. I'm just going to sit here and I'm gonna rot. Or what
Yeah.
if something happens and you get hurt and you can't do like yes, my new I like to go to the gym. That's I don't like it, but I go to the gym. That's a new one and still not integrated, but um gonna happen forever.
Right.
And so it's good for now, but the rest of the stuff, it can go on and on and on. Like you can have a garden if you're in a nursing home and you
Yep,
have a windowsill garden. You can
that's right.
you can just have stuff. And I don't want to become complacent and
Mhm.
just go, I'm good with just working in my family. Like I'm not just good with working in my family. Like I need something else.
Because you are a fully dimensional, unique, wonderful, amazing woman, as we all are, and it's
Yeah.
not like just because we have that role and that's one of our identities. I think that's what this is really all about, is identity, and
Yeah.
not losing those parts of you that are really important to still be cultivated and, like, know who you are. And I think that, I wanna help women nurture those things, because it would be so like heartbreaking to me and sad for, a woman to go through her life and never fully experience the things she could be, who she wants to be. Like, to me, that is the ultimate abundance in life. That's the ultimate plenty, right? The peace and the plenty.
Yeah, 100%. Because I think that we as women put everything before us because we've been raised to do that. Like,
We're
make sure your
conditioned.
family is situated, make sure work is situated, make sure everything is situated. And we kind of go like, oh, well, when I have time, if we do the when I have time, we're never going to have time. So you kind of have to build it in. Like, I literally clock out of my computer at 5 o'clock and I turn on music and I do a little bit of the painting. I don't say I'm gonna do it for like an hour. I don't like block how, like,
Right.
I just do it until I'm like, all right, I've had enough of this. And then I move on. It's just to give my day a feeling of like, I did something that was just for me. And
Mm,
I think the key is that women everywhere need to understand that they don't have to think they're going to be good at something to try. If you have seen a
100%.
friend who does something, like just say you have a friend and they do something and you're like, God, like I'm kind of jealous. I wish I would have that skill. Well, try it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just try it. It could be sucky. Like you'll laugh. I'm going to show you my
Show
lovely
us.
paint by numbers.
Is it the
I'm
hydrangea?
working on this sucker since Christmas.
Oh my gosh, you've actually come a lot longer than when I saw it last.
I know. So you sit here and you go, did I have to have any artistic inclination? No, not
But
at
that's not what
all.
it's about. That's
But
not
that's what it's not
what
about.
it's about.
Exactly. And when it's done, I said it'll be a white elephant gift. Everyone's going to get the hydrangea at some point. Like I'm not hanging it up. I'm not doing it for a purpose. I'm just doing it for the act of doing it.
Right. And well, I would argue that it's not a purpose in terms of like giving it as a gift, but the purpose is your joy.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. And it's fun. It's fun to do. It's kind of brainless also. You don't have to be sitting there going like, "Oh, I need to make sure that this is correct." Like it doesn't freaking matter.
Right. And it
It,
relaxes your nervous system,
yep.
especially at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
and as you just said that, like worrying about how it's painted, it's really kind of speaking metaphorically to what we're talking about, as women, and thinking if we're going to do something, we have to do it well. We have to be good at it. And like, again, all the rules that we follow, like you can paint outside the lines. You can color
Yeah.
outside the lines. Like this is your opportunity. And midlife is when we really have no fucks left to give. Right.
No, no fucks.
So
No.
this is the time to like that's the beauty of midlife. As hard as it is, and that's why we're in this midlife, is this in the middle kind of place.
Yeah.
So we're in this place where we're torn in all these, mother, professional, caretaker. So that is the challenge, but the beauty is the fact that we also have so many opportunities, as our kids get older and
Yeah.
are out of the house and need us less. And for anyone watching that has younger kids, you may feel like that is so far off. And I don't want to scare you, but damn, it goes fast. And that's the time when you have the opportunity to explore different parts of yourself, right? And
Uh,
explore what makes you happy. And listen, you might pick something up and be like, this is boring. This
yeah,
sucks,
this sucks. I don't like it. Yeah.
but that's the whole point. Is kind of like what you said, Melissa, like experimenting with different things. Before
Yeah.
I let you go, what else have you experimented with that either you have stuck with or not stuck with?
Sure. I did. Oh, it's a good one. I did. I'm going to visit every state park in the state. Oh, no, not state park. What would it be?
Like,
The like the
yeah,
parks in Connecticut.
yeah.
And
Or
I
okay, all the
bought
parks in it.
a chart and it had like boxes and you were like checked off when you did one of the parks,
That's
like
so cute.
hiking. It was very cute. I think we did like, I don't know, maybe like 6 of them. And then I realized like I have a dog who freaking hates hiking.
Yeah.
And my old dog liked hiking. This one does not. So why the fuck am I torturing her to be like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna check off the boxes and go all these hikings? Like, no. And you
Sometimes
have to
you gotta
do,
adjust, right? I love
yes,
that. Just gotta
you gotta
pivot.
go like, all right, we're done here. So that one was a big wash. Um,
Time out. Time
what?
out. Is it a wash that you went to 6 state parks in your state?
No, it is not a wash. It was a good experience,
I love it.
but I don't want to do it
That's
anymore.
right. It's not a
And
hobby,
that's the
you're
thing.
adopting.
And what's good is that of to not hold on to it. Like, so I didn't like it. I'm like, we're good here. I tried coloring, like coloring books. I tried that. I didn't like it as much as I like the
Mm,
painting. That
interesting.
it, to me, I don't know, just the sensory piece of having it be paint. I
Mm,
just like it more. So if you were to be like, do the coloring book, I'd be like, okay, but I don't like love it. I tried crocheting, didn't
no.
like it. Nope, it was just too much for my brain. I was like, yeah, no, the stress of trying to learn it, not
Yeah.
fun. So I was like, it's out. God, I've tried so many
You
things.
are, and you're very like, I love how you experiment. Like, I think play, first of all, like we don't play as adults, and you and I have
No.
talked about this in a we were in you were in one of my group coaching, and we talked about the importance of having fun, right? And making a
Yeah.
fun list and trying to find things. And I will say you really embodied that. Like you really look for things to do. Um so I want to just first of all, thank you for being open and
Oh,
sharing
you're
and honest
welcome.
because I think it's definitely something that is so important, so, so important for us to do, even if it's like you said, like 5 minutes, right? At the end of the
Yep.
day. And it doesn't have to be this big, like, we don't have to make it a big thing. Like, just
No.
find, like, take 10 minutes to do something. And you are a voracious reader, but even if somebody wants to read, um, just, if you're having trouble getting started, just also take away any of the resistance around it, meaning like have the paint and the paintbrush and the paint by numbers accessible. Have it out there by your desk, right? If you're gonna
Yep.
read, have the book, have a night,
Yep.
the night light, whatever you call it, the book light. Just like get yourself
It's
queued up,
available all the
right?
time.
And
And
keep it
that
like
is the key, is to
easy.
always have it available because my painting lives on my dining room counter.
There you go.
My baby plants live to the right of me. My book nook is to the left of me. I like to keep my stuff around me because it makes me happy. And then if I'm having a moment, I go like, okay, I gotta do. I'm gonna go water my plants. Like, and some people, their hobby might be like going out and doing things socially.
Mhm.
I'm an introvert. I don't want to do that. I want
Right.
to do something that's by myself. But there's so many different ways to do it. If you don't want to do it by yourself, find people to do it with you.
I love that too. So there's that idea of there's something for everyone. If you tend to be a more introverted person and you want to do, solo things in the privacy of your home, awesome. If you want to be more social and you're like, I really would prefer to do this with other people, there are so many options out there.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is hop on Google, right? Or talk
Yeah.
to your friends who, we still haven't been able to coordinate it, but we have a couple of friends that were like, who wants to take tap dancing lessons, right? Like,
That's great.
right? How fun though.
That's funny. I don't want to
But
do
that
tap.
that might not be
I
something
would
you
do
want to do.
I would do ballet.
Oh, see?
I'm flexible, but I don't have no rhythm. So I feel like ballet would be a little bit more my
I could
style. Tap,
I
I'd
could
be
see
super.
that for you. That would be good for you, yeah. We could do a
See?
whole we could do a whole day and, like, just have this first we have a jazz class, then we have a contemporary, then we have ballet, then we have tap, then we have hip hop, and
I would do it and laugh so hard. I'd probably pee my pants, but I'm cool with it.
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking in our group of friends, so for our viewers, Melissa is one of my best friends from high school, so we have a little tribe of our high school best friends, and I'm laughing to myself because 'cause I'm thinking, like, what a fun game to list all the genres of dance and name who
Who
would
would do
who
what?
would do what. We
You,
could
that
do
would
that
be like
offline.
not doing any,
We have that too.
but we'd make them. It would
You
be
know
like,
you know who you are.
exactly, you know who you are, and I know that you would never be putting on the dance shoes or the leotard. We know.
That's hilarious.
It would
All
be
right.
funny
Well,
though.
Thank you. I'm going to let you go finish your
Oh,
work
you're
day and
welcome.
save time for your painting and your plants and everything you do. Keep doing what you're doing. And if you think of any new hobbies, make sure you let us know so we can
I
get some
will
get some ideas
join in.
from the hobby master.
There you go. Little did we know. Hobby
Thank,
Master
thank
Melissa.
you. Okay, so here's your action for this week, my friends. Step one, brainstorm. Get out your journal, your notebook. What did you used to love to do? Either when you were a child, maybe in your 20s or 30s, or what if you always wanted to try? What looks like it would be fun or cool? Make a list. Step two, choose one. That's it. We start small here. Choose one. Step three, block 15 minutes. Look at your calendar, find 15 minutes. You can find 15 minutes, plug it in. Step four, share with us. Comment, let us know what are the hobbies, what are the interests, what are the things that you are finding joy in again. Lastly, if you need some help really being convinced that you deserve time for hobbies and create space in your calendar for pursuing interests of your own, I'll put some articles in there, some research from places like the American Psychological Association, from Harvard, to try to convince you why you absolutely need to make some more time for yourself. And if you need further help, also in those show notes is going to be a link to book a strategy call with me. I will coach you, I will get you there. We will create the calendar and the life that you want. All you need to do is click book a free strategy call with me, and I will hold your hand through this process. Until next time, I'm Janine, and this is Peace and Plenty in 20.